Value versus non-value added actions. How we implement Scrum methodology part 4. Now we know what the value is, and we will look at how to deliver this value to our customer faster. In this video we will focus on processes, how to minimize it by reducing non-value adding waste. In part 2 we'll look at the value and valuable product. One of the valuable product from me is a cup of espresso in the morning. And it would be awesome to get it as soon as I need it or ready for it. Unfortunately, it requires some actions to take and time to spend. Let's take a look at both of them. But before we jump to dissect the espresso making process and find the value added action, we need to understand what those magical value added actions are. The moment of action or thought which create or modify a product that the customer is willing to pay for. It's three important areas here. First, it's an action and thought. Second, are those actions must create new or modify an existing product feature. We will look at the real-life example of a product creation a bit later in this video. Third, the customer has to willing to pay for a product or actions which create the product. Now, let's take a look at what needs to be done to get a valuable product. In our case, it's a cup of espresso. First, I turn on the coffee machine. Then I walk to the sink to wash the tray. I clean the tray, and after I clean the tray, I walk back to the coffee machine. I walk to the sink, wash to the towel. I wash the towel. After washing the towel, I walk back to the coffee machine and I put the coffee beans into the grinder. The grinder grinds the coffee beans. I place the portafilter into the coffee machine. Then the coffee machine pours the water through the coffee. I walk to the garbage bin to throw the used coffee. I drop the used coffee into the garbage tray and walk back. I walk to the sink to wash the portafilter. And I wash the filter and walk back. And last my step, I clean the coffee machine. Let's take a look at which of my actions create lovely aroma cup of espresso. Definitely not the first one. Not walking part for sure. Cleaning the tray is not create the product. Again, I walk back, it's not create the product. Washing towel? Definitely not. Putting the coffee into the grinder? Well, some of you may say yes, but definitely we do not modify or create a product here. Grinding, yes, that's the first step where we add the valuable actions. Then move the portafilter? Definitely not. Pour the water through the coffee? Yes, that's the second value added action. Definitely not walking, not cleaning, not walking, not washing, not walking, and not cleaning. What is noticeable here is I do the non-value added action much more than value added actions. You may think something wrong here, or my process is terrible. Unfortunately, the majority of our process actions are not value added actions. The world's best manufacturer Toyota has more than 90% of non-value added actions in their processes. Now, let's see what the lead time is. The lead time is the time from the moment I think about the coffee to the moment I start to enjoy it. First, let's put all espresso making actions on the timeline. Second, let's display the time each action takes. Now, let's add the working time and group the actions by value and non-value added together. The total time of non-value added actions is 1 minute 56 seconds, or 17.4%. The total time of value added actions is 32 seconds, or 21.6%. Is this sound ridiculously unbelievable? It is hard to believe, but unfortunately it's true. If you still have some doubts, let's take a look at the video I took at the Japan Lean trip. This video shows the Mufina factory, the Tier 2 Toyota supplier welding process. During this video, I count value-added and non-value-added actions. As you will see, even the best manufacturers make a lot of non-value-added actions. This is the U-cell of the welding worker. The operation is to weld the 4 small parts to the base. And now I play this video in half of the speed and count value-added and non-value-added actions. Now, let's take a look at the numbers. The number of non-value-added action is 29. The number of value-added action is only 4 or only 40%. It is also important to look at the time. Non-value-added action takes 23 seconds. The value-added action takes only 8 seconds or 35%. Based on the previous examples, we got a solid idea that the most process actions are non-value-added actions. Now, let's see where this discovery could be helpful. In parts 1 and 2 of this video series, we established a customer wants to get a valuable product as soon as possible. To fulfill it, we have to focus on the product feature lead time reduction. Let's take a look at where to focus on reducing the espresso making time and delivering the valuable product to a customer faster. When we talk about process optimization area, most companies and teams will focus on this green area of value-added actions and improve it. Why is that? Well, it's much easier for us to identify how to improve the value-added action or think we know how. Or it's easier to improve in that area by implementing obvious and proven solutions. Or it may be hard for us to understand and admit that 87% of our actions are not delivering any customer value. What most common solution the companies and teams would use when they need to reduce the espresso lead time? First, they could buy a new grinder which grinds the coffee bean faster. It helps to reduce, let's say, half of the time from 12 to 6 seconds. On the other hand, it will cost us extra $200 to $300 and an old perfectly working grinder will stay on the shelf or be recycled. The second solution is they would buy a new coffee machine, but this machine is already semi-professional and costs $3,000. The next option would be a professional one, which costs 2-3 times more, but reduces the espresso time by 25% or less. If both solutions got implemented and reduces the value-added action by 11 seconds or 34% of value-added actions, but overall time delivery reduction would be only 7.5%. Lean product development tells us to pay attention and reduce non-value-added actions. What if we eliminate 3 out of 5 walks? It will reduce the lead time by 21 seconds and cost us nothing. Now let's try to reduce every cleaning action time in half. It will reduce the lead time by 32 seconds and cost us nothing. And overall time reduction will be 53 seconds or 46% of non-value added actions. This is another example of continuous improvement which helps to reduce the lead time by 9.3 hours and walking distance by 2.27 miles. To see the video, please scan the QR code or use the URL under it. But what about the software development? According to research done in 4,000 companies, the best of them produce only 7% of value-added actions. The rest of their activities are waste. Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? How to eliminate or at least reduce the waste? In coming up chapters, we will learn about different types of waste, where to look for waste, and how to eliminate it. Meantime, we can try to find waste by looking for value-added actions. How to do it? First, let us remind ourselves of the definition of value-added actions. Those are the moments of action or thought which creates or modify a product that the customer is willing to pay for. I always ask myself, if I would be my own customer, would I pay for what I've done in the last hour? I check my last hour actions and try to understand if they created or modified the product or feature. It is crucial here I have to be honest with myself. And now it's time for the retrospective and review what we learned. First, value-added actions are the moment of action or thought which create or modify a product that the customer is willing to pay for. The second, the majority of actions are non-value-added actions. Non-value-added actions take significantly more time than value-added actions. Eliminating non-value-added actions reduces the lead time faster than improving the value-added actions. And the fifth, satisfy the customer through earlier and continuous delivery of valuable software or product.